Looking for some quality betting picks? Well, download the Discord app and join our group BetMasters Lounge where you can get positive EV and arbitrage along with best bets and parlays. Download Discord now, send us an invite, and get in on the action.
All right. So today we're going to actually jump into some defense for our mini episode. Yep, we are breaking down the defense and diving deep into the nitty gritty of the metrics and explore what exactly is making the teams tick this year. So when you take a look at the total defense, we got to look at those Titans. Yeah, Tennessee, they're leading the pack. And listen, it's impressive. 265.4 defensive yards average, and they're only allowing 22 touchdowns. And closely following them are the Texans at 281.7 yards and allowing only 24 touchdowns. And then you got to take a serious look, excuse me, at the Broncos, and they're at 282.6 yards and only allowing 12 touchdowns. Now, when you think about PFF grading system, and it pretty much evaluates every player on every play. And I really jump into metrics and data. And when we look at the pass rush grades, considering the factors like pressures, okay, sacks, when we have run defense, for instance, let's take a look at this. So if you take a look at Khalil Mack's 95.2 overall grade in 2016, he surpassed Vic Beasley's 74.2 despite Beasley's higher sack count. And then, you can dive deeper into what makes the teams tick. And I always say defense wins championships, like the Steelers, 310.3 yards, 12 touchdowns. They're known for that. That is their signature. And then you look at the 49ers, 314.8 yards and 21 touchdowns. They are excelling in run defense and their ability to really just get in there and shed blocks and, get in there and knife into the backfield. I believe that that's making a significant impact. Excuse me, coverage grades in PFF, it assesses a player's performance in the pass coverage. Well, considering factors like targets, all right, receptions, and yards allowed, the top performers in most of these categories are crucial pretty much in determining basically the team's overall defensive success. We jump down and take a deeper look into the top defensive teams. Now, I mentioned the Titans earlier, 265.4 defensive yards average and 22 touchdowns allowed. Then we jump down into the Texans at 281.7 yards, allowing 24 touchdowns. Got to throw the Broncos in there, like I said before. They're at 282.6 yards, allowing 12 touchdowns. And yes, I looked at the data. Okay. And we have to give props where props is due. And the New York Jets are at 290.7 defensive yards on average, allowing 18 touchdowns. And then the Chiefs, the Chiefs are the Chiefs. Somehow they get it done. Spags has got them all over the place. 295 yards and 13 touchdowns. And overall, for me, I'm a stickler on looking at the data, what changes week by week. And these numbers are subjective, but when you look at these top 5 defenses right now, you get a couple of takeaways. Balance is key. And I think that's really important here. Teams with a balanced approach to defense, they're pretty much excelling in both pass rush and run defense. And pretty much those are the ones that dominate the rankings. And then you got to also throw coverage. Coverage definitely matters. Top performers in pass coverage, they are very crucial in determining a team's overall defensive success. And last but not least, my favorite is context. That's right. Context is everything. Now, considering factors like opponent strength or game situation and player injuries is essential when you talk about evaluating these metrics. So we go back each week and we take a look at what team or teams are making the biggest impact. And right now, as far as the defense goes, pass coverage and stopping the run, Tennessee sits on top of that mountain right now. I think it's pretty cool that we have these different systems to look up data. I'm a data nut case. So it allows us to take a deeper dive more than what we see on the field. And I can sit and analyze plays, but then we look at the data. And right now, these top 5 teams, and you know what, I'm kind of surprised that the Browns aren't in there because they have one of the better defenses. But this year so far, they haven't really shown up, and perhaps they will soon to come. But right now, they've been pretty quiet. But you got to give credit where credit is due to the Titans, the Texans, the Jets, the Broncos, and the Chiefs. So again, data changes week by week. Be back next week and see what the data shows. I tend to look at defense, but jump down in the comments and let me know what other metrics of data would you like to hear on our mini episode. Okay, don't forget you can catch us on Apple Podcast. I'm over on Spotify or wherever you get your podcast.